discuss the per production. So first, let us define what is per production. So per production is the conservation of a photon into an electron and positron pair on its interaction with the strong electric field surrounding a nucleus. So per production is the process in which photons is converted into matter. So sa per production, it will produce electron and positron. So for us to more understand what I'm talking about, I will discuss this figure. So we have here the incident photon nucleus. So incident photon is also called energy. So if si incident photon mag-agi siya dire kay nucleus, it will produce electron and positron. So again, if the incident photon nag-agi siya dire kay nucleus, it will produce positron and electron. In this process, in per production, the photon have no charge. Wala siyang charge. While electron and positron, wala man sa charge, but may pinagkaiba sila nga duwa. By the name positron, it will have a positive energy charge or positive charge, while electron will have a negative charge. So again, photon produces electron and positron. Photon have no charge. Electron will have also no charge, but it will be negative charge, and then positron will be positive charge. So in this process, they have no conservation principle is violated within this process. So wala sila sang maging violate na principle during the per production. So dito nagsulod si law conservation of charge. So what is law conservation of charge? Law of conservation of charge says that the net charge of an isolated system will remain constant. So according to the law of conservation of charges, the sum of all charges must be converted similarly in the process that the photon have no charge. So habang gaya kagina, the positron have positive energy charge and electron will have a negative energy charge. So in this, kung pila ang equivalent ni electron, man ang equivalent ni positron, kung pila ang charge ni electron, man ang charge ni positron. So example here is if the charge of photon is di ba kagina wala sang charge si photon, so it will be equals to 0 dire. And then the electron also have no charge, it will become negative charge 0, and then positron will have positive charge 0. So for us more to elaborate the law of conservation of energy, it says that the charges of sum of all charges must be similar in the process that photons have. Kung pila ang value ni photon, kung isum naton ang value ni electron and positron, ang equals na sini is the value of positron. Kung pila ang sabat naton sa sum ni electron and positron, it will be equal to the number charge of photon. So photon, habang kung gina, they have no charge, so 0. And then if we will sum the charge of electron and the charge of positron is negative 0 or negative charge, positron will be the positive charge. So charge on photon is equals to charge on positron plus the charge of electron is equals to 0. So that's why they have no principle having violated in the process of per production. And then in order to satisfy more the law of conservation, in this figure we have here 0.55 mega electric volts in electron, and then in the positron we have here a positive 0.51 mega electron volts. So kung i-add natin ini siya, it also will become 0. Negative 0.51 mega electron volts plus 0.51 mega electron volts is all same as 0. So in order to more satisfy the law of conservation of energy, the equivalent of photon will be the greater siya in 1.02 electron volts. So again, in order to more satisfy the law of conservation of energy, the value of the gamma rays or the photons, the energy have more or greater than 1.02. So ang equivalent energy dapat ni photon is greater to 1.02 electric volts. So linear momentum. So first, let us know how does momentum conserve in this process. So momentum, the photon has some initial photon. So when it takes the process close to an atomic nucleus, so ari si photon sa momentum, may initial momentum ini siya. If si photon nagkanto na siya dire o nag-agi siya kay nucleus, the initial momentum ni photon is mahatag niya kay nucleus. So that's why the momentum is part of this process. So again, in the momentum, so nga man nagkaroon ng momentum sa per production process, si photon has initial momentum. So kung mag-agi na siya kay nucleus, ang initial momentum ni photon, it will be transferred to nucleus. So now let us discuss the linear momentum. So kung kagina, ang per production is ginhambal ko is the conservation of energy into the matter. So in linear momentum, the linear momentum is the reverse process of per production. Kung si per production natin kagina, if the photon travels into the nucleus, it will produce electron and positron. Here in linear momentum, by the help of nucleus, if the electron and positron collides with the help of nucleus, it will produce photon. Again, in linear momentum, it is the reverse process of per production. With the help of nucleus, if the electron and positron collides, it will produce the photon. So we also have here the three major ways in which photon can interact with atoms and electrons. So first, photoelectric effect. So paano na-contribute ni paano naging major ways ni photon nga nag-interact siya with atoms and electrons. So in photoelectric effect, it will only happen if the photon has high enough frequency. So buot silingon, it will only matatabo lang sa if ang photon niya is high enough frequency. So when the photon collides with an electron, the electron will be out of an atom, and then the photon will cease to exist or will disappear. So next is Compton scattering, is also known as the Compton effect. So discuss ko kagina when in Compton effect, when the wavelength when it collides, the magiging naga-scatter na ang iyang wavelength, di ba? So here in per production, if photon can scatter from an electron, di ba nag-scatter siya in Compton effect. If the photon scatter from one electron, and with that process, it loses some energy. So samtang ga-scattered na siya, nakadula na siya sang energy or gabuhin energy, but the photon has a low frequency. Pero ga-travel siya gihapon as the speed of light. So again, in Compton effect, if the photon was scattered from an electron, in this process, it loses some energy. But the photon has a low frequency, pero nag-travel siya gihapon as the speed of light. So next, per production. So sa explanation kagina, the per production is the process in which photons is converted of the matter. So it's very it's very understandable na siya in per production. Kay di ba kung mag-agi na si photon kay nucleus, it will produce the electron and positron. So again, to sum up, per production is a process in which photons is converted into matter, which is the electron and positron. So photon have no charge, electron will have a negative charge, and then positron have positive charge. So So this process, they don't violate a principle. So diri na nagsulod si law of conservation of energy. So kung pila ang charge ni photon, amo man ang charge ni kung pila ang charge ni electron, amo man ang charge ni positron, but the charge ni electron is negative while the charge of positron is positive. So kung how do we compute para makita natin na ang law of conservation of energy was Q. So charge of energy is equals to charge of positron plus charge of electron. So ang bago kagina, ang charge ni photon is equals to 0, and then the photon the value of electron and positron will same, but nagkaiba lang sila sa mga signs. So if si photon is 0, kung i-add natin sila nga duwa, ang equivalent ni photon ni positron and electron will also same number as how many ang charge ni photon. Kung 0 atong photon, kung i-add natin si positron and electron, the equals or the sum nila is 0. So nagsulod man dire si linear momentum, which is the reverse process of per production. So linear momentum with the help of nucleus, if the electron and positron collide with the help of nucleus, it will produce the photon. And then it also have we discuss also the three ways in which photon can interact with atoms and electrons. They are the photoelectric effect, quantum scattering or quantum effect, and then the per production. So sa photoelectric effect, it only happens with the photon if the photon has high enough frequency, and then when the photon collides in electron, the electron out of an atom and the photon will disappear. So in quantum effect, the photon can scatter from an electron pero nagaloses na siya sa energy in this process. Pero nagatravel siya gihapon as the speed of light. And then also, and lastly, we have here the per production in three major ways. So if photon can create electron and positrons, kung mag-agi si photon kay nucleus, it will produce electron and positron. And if bilagan ni ang value ni positron, it will also the value of electron. And if you will sum up the value of positron and electron, it will also be balanced in the number charge of photon. So I hope you understand my report. Thank you and have a great day.